Glenn McCrory for Boxing Social with Eddie Hearn. Eddie, it's Bellew-Haye 2, the rematch. Is it going to be better than the last one?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the last one was madness, wasn't it? It was, and I said in an interview just now, no one expected Tony to win that first fight. And I know David Haye got injured, but you can't take anything away from the fact that Bellew took his best for 5 or 6 rounds, and that was always the game plan. This time, I think it's a 50-50 fight in the mindset of the people, which makes it a lot more exciting and entertaining. And I think it'll be a little bit of a different fight this time. But I just don't, just saying in an interview, David Haye, and you've been around him a long time, he's always had that aura, that superstar, and I just don't feel it anymore, and that comes through, I think, confidence and just, like I say, the aura that you give out, and I think that one of Haye's best attributes over it is his confidence and his belief to fight like that, and I just think, I don't know, I feel so confidently that Tony Bellew's going to beat him again, and I'm looking forward to the fight. I think it'll be a great fight.
Is it a little bit that Tony Bellew's bust the bubble, bust the myth about David Haye, the haymaker?
Yeah, I think it's, people talk about the power, the haymaker. Tony Bellew took the power, he took all the shots, and he still kept coming. I just think that Haye's confidence must be low. Obviously confidence in his body, confidence in his boxing ability, in his timing, in his power, all the things that used to make him so tough to beat. I don't think he has that anymore. That might work to his advantage, but I don't think it will. I think you're going to see Tony Bellew go in and boss this fight. Bellew's confidence is at all-time high. He thinks he's unbeatable, but he knows the dangers of David Haye. But it's a really good matchup, and I think Haye will box a different fight this time. I think he'll try and set traps, and he'll try and counter, and he'll move more off the back foot, whereas last time he was gung-ho, just thought all he had to do was hit Bellew on the chin and it was over. So I think technically you'll get a much better fight this time, but I think as it opens up and goes down the stretch, they're just going to go at it again.
It's a very different David Haye, a humble David Haye. It's do you think he can pull something back at this stage in his career? Injuries, he can't afford to pull out again.
Well, it's a humble David Haye, but is it a humble David Haye, or is it someone who's trying to control his emotions and understands how important it is to win this fight? I'm pretty sure, and you'll know as well, that the likes of Ismail Salas would say to David, stay calm in this press conference. It's not unusual for a coach to say, stay calm, don't get involved, don't start losing your rag. And I think he's been told to do that, and I think he feels like that will put him in better stead, because last time he boxed off emotions and he was sloppy, he was angry, and he made a lot of mistakes. This time he knows the qualities of Tony Bellew, and he has to be sharp, and he has to be, he has to have the right game plan. So I think it's going to be a tougher fight for Tony Bellew this time, but I don't know, when the going gets tough, I just always fancy Bellew in a scrap, like just the desire. I don't know, like you say, the injuries and the achievements. He showed an unbelievable amount of heart last time, Haye, to carry on with that injury. But this time, does he, 8, 9, 10 rounds, and it's tough and it's hard, and Bellew's pulling him about, and I don't know. Big favourite for me is Tony Bellew in this fight.
Yeah. Bellew's got the confidence. He's also he's busted the bubble a little bit, and he really believes that David Haye cannot beat him.
He does. I mean, he's wary of the power because he got hit in the first fight, and he told me how hard David Haye hits, but he's got a lot of confidence. He's now felt that power. He's mixed it. He's overcome it. So as far as he's concerned, there's no reason why he can't do it again. But I'm expecting a great fight.
A quick line on the World Super Series. George Groves, Chris Eubank Jr. Nobody knows the Eubanks better than you did growing up with a senior. What did you think of the performance from Eubank, firstly?
There's been a lot of negative stuff. And the problem is when Junior says stuff to other fighters and then Senior says these ridiculous comments, you're going to get the backlash, and you've just got to put up with it. I'd rather focus on the positives, which are he's got a lot of heart. He put it on the line. And you've got to look, this kid has not had the schooling because of the ignorance of the father. You can't, and Glenn, Eubank Senior should know better. How can you, imagine you had a son, right, and you said, he doesn't need a trainer, natural ability, you can't teach it. I mean, you should know better. Everybody needs a great trainer. It's probably the most important thing you need in the game. It is the most important thing you need in the game. And I watch him hit the pads with his fitness coach, his security guy, and it's like, no one's telling you what you're doing. He's throwing a bent arm jab, he's not moving his head, he's not moving his feet, he's standing still when he's throwing his shots. And what you saw on Saturday was just a very experienced and good brain in George Groves and Shane McGuigan, just being too smart and too clever and too good. But I still think Eubank deserves a lot of credit for getting to where he's got to with what he's got in terms of his team. He will never win a world title if he doesn't change his approach. He's not good enough. He's tough. He's got unbelievable punch output. He's got something in here that and again, let's say that he's been brought up with, like me, with a silver spoon in his mouth. To have that toughness is admirable, because that toughness normally comes from someone from the street. Do you know what I mean? And he's got that in him, but he has to improve. You can't just think, I'll throw loads of shots. And I've seen his sparring. He's never had world level sparring. It's just a case of get someone in to bash up and let me hit this bag on Instagram. He's an internet fighter. Probably the worst mistake they ever made was getting rid of Adam Booth or falling out with Adam Booth.
We both know what he needs, and that's a team. But can you teach not the son? Can you tell the father?
Well, the only way you can do it is for the. And again, while we're giving out praise, I praise Senior because I saw in some of the footage his honesty after the fight to say, no, son, you didn't win the fight. Junior saying, I thought I won. No, you weren't good enough. So I respect that as well. But I can't. Surely, Senior knows enough about the game. It's not me saying it, it's everybody who knows anything about boxing saying the same thing. We can't all be wrong. And it's frustrating because he's got so many fundamentals of a great fighter. Just technically, he hasn't. And it's not like he's at 18 or 16. He's 28, coming on 29. But I just feel like they never have a plan. They never have, they stumbled across the World Boxing Super Series and they've had a touch. He's made a lot of money. But, it's another defeat, and the bubble, which we talked about, has burst, and we have to understand what he is, which is not an elite level world fighter. Can he mix it at world class? Yeah, just through toughness and grit, but he can't beat someone that moves their feet. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And George Groves done that. Billy Joe Saunders now, in this state, would school Chris Eubank Jr. But he can only beat the right style at world level. Anyone else, and he can't. And it's not a criticism of him. It's just how it is. Look, watch him move around the ring. Groves was just moving to his right all night. I could see every round, and Groves was just mugging him off. With the arms, with the feints. He weren't even doing anything at the time. And then Junior would make a mistake, pop with a jab, and then move, and then hold him. It was just schooling. That's what it was.
George Groves must have impressed. Can he go on to win it now?
Yeah, no, I didn't take it. It's on the side there, I think. He's going to fight Callum Smith in the final, our guy, and I think Callum's going to come through so fresh. He had a fight against Skoglund, which wasn't really heavy duty. Touch wood, he has an easy fight against the kickboxing guy on Saturday. He should be fresh as a daisy. Yeah. George has got to recover from his shoulder popping out. So, I think Callum's a big favourite. Groves, I have a lot of respect for George Groves, because to come back from the Froch defeat, to come back from the Badu Jack defeat, and to win against Chudinov, and then that performance against Eubank, he's really going down and making his name as a very good British fighter.
He's had the preparation. Has Callum Smith?
Yeah, that's a good question. When you talk about experience at world level, Callum doesn't have it, but he does have freshness on his side. He can hit very, very hard. It's a really good fight. But, can George find that level again? He's been in a lot of tough fights. And my worry in the Eubank fight was that he was just a bit shot worn. But he showed enough up here to get him through. And that was really just a thinking man's performance. Just too smart for Eubank. And be interesting to see what happens in the final.
As always, thanks a lot, Eddie. Cheers.